Hello, Warframe, this is Jane's Videos, and today I'm going to be discussing more of the new for Halloween 2021 Morris Costumes animatronics. I'm definitely late on some of these, but it gave them time to release two new ones so that I can put those in the video, so hey, better late than never, and it actually turned out in my favor. Now, please note, I'm only going to be talking about four animatronics in this video. I'm not going to be talking about the re-released ones, like the um what's he called? Scorched Scarecrow with the new audio, or the Lunging Witch or Lunging Reaper with the Digi Eyes, because those are just old props that are re-released in a new way. I think I'll just give no, I'll give short opinions. The Lunging Reaper looks good. The Witch doesn't look so good. I don't like the new Scorched Scarecrow because his old phrases were definitely better and creepier. And also, there's some techie stuff, but we don't need to talk about that. It's bad. That's all I will say. Both of them are bad. The new Rosemary and the backbending thing. They're both terrible, and I'm not going to talk about them because they're not like the main focal props that were released. And yeah, they're terrible. I don't really know what else to say other than that. But we will talk about these four, which I think are definitely cool. Yeah, let's just jump right in. We're going to start with the Towering Reaper. So this guy is basically an animatronic version of the Home Depot skeleton with a Grim Reaper cloak and phrases, and the Home Depot skeleton was awesome, okay? I think everyone knows that. He became a pop culture thing. He became a big mainstream thing that people who aren't even in the Halloween community were talking about. And you know, people loved him, and with good reason. I think he was a fantastic prop, and I really wish I would have gotten him, but chances are he's returning this year, so I just might. I don't know if I like him or the Reaper more, because with the skeleton, there's more versatility. Like, you can dress him up to how you want him. But with the Reaper, overall, appearance-wise, I think he's cooler. I have the 2018 Spirit Towering Reaper, and I've always really liked him. I've always thought he's a cool prop. However, he did have some issues, namely being the fact that his face is color changing. His face doesn't look too great. It's kind of cartoony. What I liked about him the most is that he's literally over 10 feet tall, and that's extremely impressive. But now we have a new and improved version. He has the same phrases and everything, which I did really like those phrases, so I'm happy they kept them. But he looks so much cooler. He looks much scarier. He's got a moving mouth, which the other one didn't have. He's got the Digi Eyes, which I've mentioned many times before. I know there's like people are torn on whether the Digi Eyes are good or not. I personally love the Digi Eyes. I think it gives the props a lot of personality, and I really like it. And I hope they keep going with this trend. So he's got the Digi Eyes, and he just looks way cooler. So I might just have to sell my 2018 Towering Reaper and get this one instead. Because, I mean, the 2018 Towering Reaper is good, but this guy, if he's the same size and everything, which he likely is, I mean, he's obviously the same height, but also the 2018 Towering Reaper, you don't know how big he is until you've seen him in person. He is insane. Like, his hands and his head and everything's just huge. If this guy's the same proportions and is that monstrous, then I'll definitely trade my 2018 one out for this new one because he looks really cool. Next up is the Soothsayer. Now, I'm a fan of classic Halloween witches. I really like them. I'm not too big of a fan of realistic witches, just because they don't feel as Halloween, but I'm really big in the classic Halloween witches. However, this one, I'm just not feeling it. I don't really care for the voice. I like witch type voices, but this one doesn't even sound like a witch. It sounds like someone trying to impersonate a witch. Like, it doesn't sound genuine, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't like how she has the crystal ball. I feel like that's getting very old, having all the SVI witches holding crystal balls. It's kind of annoying, and it's definitely getting old. Now, she does look cool. I will give her that, and she has the option to sit and stand, which is really cool. And she has Digi Eyes, which, very good. However, she's just kind of too basic for me, in my personal opinion. Like, you could argue, yeah, well, I like Wailing Phantom and the new Towering Werewolf from last year because their Digi Eyes are cool, even though they're basic. But I don't know. Like I said, I also don't like the voice on her. I don't like the crystal ball thing. She just feels kind of generic to me. Like Wailing Phantom, though he was generic and basic, he looks cool in my opinion. And the new werewolf from last year with the digit eyes, yeah, he's just another towering werewolf, but he still looks really cool. This witch just looks like a Pan-Asian witch with an SVI voice and digit eyes. Not a huge fan, but she's not bad. Next is the props that everyone has been waiting for, and we actually thought it was only going to be one prop. First, I'm going to talk about Jack Stalker. So we thought this was going to be one prop. If you didn't know, Morris Costumes released on their website a silhouette of this prop along with the name earlier in the year, and it was basically a mystery, and they didn't reveal it. Now it's been revealed, and to be honest, I'm disappointed. He's grown on me since I first saw him. At first, I was like, this thing is horrible, which might surprise you because typically this is the type of prop that I gravitate towards. Like the very classic Halloween props that are like big monstrous creatures. Like I love Grim Reapers and stuff. I love jack-o'-lanterns, and he's a Grim Reaper holding a jack-o'-lantern. So you would think I would like him. But the reason I didn't is because he just feels so basic to me. Like, he doesn't really have anything special to him. Sure, the pumpkin has that little digital face and he talks back and forth to it, but first off, I think that kind of ruins it. I'd kind of prefer if he was just like Nightmare Harvester, just holding a pumpkin, because the digital face they chose for the pumpkin is not it. It's bad looking. It looks terrible. It looks like the Jemmy singing Thriller pumpkins. And not to say that that's an awful design. It's very Halloween-y and stuff, but they're trying to go for scary with this prop based on the phrases and based on the appearance of the Reaper. Yet they combine that scariness with some kid-friendly looking pumpkin. And that I just don't like. Also, the pumpkin looks too small and too plasticky. That bothers me. But the Reaper looks fantastic. I think he looks really cool. And as a standalone prop, I probably would have liked him a lot more. I'm just not a fan of the pumpkin on this one, honestly. It just looks way too kid-friendly, and it's upsetting because the shadow they showed, the silhouette that they revealed, looked a lot cooler, to be honest, than the final product. But whatever, it's just not my personal favorite. But I do like him. He's starting to grow on me. At first, I didn't like him at all, but he's starting to grow on me the more that I see him. Still not too big of a fan of the phrases. They're very cheesy and generic, which, I'm kind of getting tired of this lazy script writing where it's not like super creative, or they're not super dark phrases anymore. Like, we used to have props that had dark phrases that talked about killing people and stuff. Now they're all just talking about stealing your soul and stuff like that. And it works with some props, but with every prop, I don't think so. But this is not hating on SVI in any way. I love SVI. They're definitely one of my favorite prop companies. This is just some constructive criticism on ways that I personally believe they could improve, because they're starting to not do as good of script writing as they used to, and the ideas are becoming very overused lately, where it's just kind of the same thing, or even if it's not the same thing, because he definitely has different animation and different concept, it's the same overall giant thing that turns from side to side talking, which I like, but when it's almost every prop that we get, it becomes a little excessive. We need more variety in there. But enough with that. They also released Prowling Jack, which at first I like Jack Stalker more because Prowling Jack's legs look a little bit too thin for his body. They look way too thin for him, but I'm starting to like Prowling Jack more just because I don't know if it's just the specific model of this one, but it just looks bigger, and it looks like it's more hunched over, and it looks like it's looming over you more than Jack Stalker is. I don't know why, it just does, but it's basically the same thing as Jack Stalker, other than that it has legs. This is something I've always really liked about SVI, is that, well, it's not always, because it's only happened in recent years, but they're starting to make props where it's a version of a prop. They released multiple versions. Like the Tug of War Clowns, they released one that was in red and black, one that was in green and black, one that was in... I don't think the white and black one was released, but there's got to be another one. I can't remember it. Maybe there was only two. But I like it because it gives variety and it lets you be able to choose which one you want. Maybe some people want legs on their Jack Stalker. Maybe some people don't. And I think it's really good of them to do that. I think that's definitely a really good thing that they do. and I think they should continue to do that, release different varieties of props. Maybe, and this is just an idea, but maybe they can do some different varieties with different phrases. Because I get why the phrases aren't as dark now, because some people might not want too scary of props. It's all personal opinion, but for me being a haunter, I want my props to be as scary as possible. And so I think they should start releasing two variants with different phrases. One with more lighthearted, spooky phrases, and one with the truly dark and scary phrases. I think that would be pretty cool. Because they're obviously fine with releasing different variants of each prop. I think giving different phrases to different variants would definitely be cool and offer more versatility for people who want either more kid-friendly, less scary, or people like me who want the truly intense, scary stuff. But that's just my opinion, and those were all just my opinion. I would love to hear your opinions in the comments below. I don't know if we're going to get any more Morris props shown, or if this was it, but if we will, I will definitely give my thoughts on them. I'm not sure where to rank this year as Morris props. I typically don't buy Morris props, just because I don't get to see them in person, so it's kind of hard to judge if I want them or not. Sometimes I've bought a few, like, after the season. I do plan on buying some older ones this year, like ones released last year and maybe some other years. I don't know. There's one in particular that I have my eye on based on my 2021 haunt theme, which I'm not going to spoil, so I'm not even going to tell you which prop it is. But I typically don't gravitate towards them as much as I would a spirit prop. One, because spirit props are typically more unique and cool, and two, because I can't see the Morris props in the Morris props in person to truly judge if I want them or not. But either way, I'm going to give my opinions on them. There's not really any this year that really stick out to me too much. I mean, Cellar Dweller I think is really cool. I don't know if I'd get him. I've got my eye on him, but I don't know if I'd get him. The Looming Phantom is a possibility. I don't know, though, but I do think he's cool, especially how big he is. But I did have a fair share of complaints with him that I shared in my last video. Towering Reaper is one that I could possibly get if I were to sell my current Towering Reaper, but I don't know. It all depends. Like I said, I don't usually get the Morris props, so it really all depends, but it's highly unlikely that I'll get one. I don't think it's one of Morris's best years, but I am so happy that they didn't do any clowns this year. That makes me so happy. I love clowns, but we need a break, and I'm glad that they're finally realizing that and giving us more diversity. Anyways, let me know what you think of these in the comments below, and I have more props to discuss from other companies like Distortions, but they're not done releasing stuff yet, so I'm going to wait until they are. I hope you all enjoyed. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves.